When it comes to golf shoes, today's modern golfers seem to be more concerned with how golf shoes looked and whether or not they're the latest on-trend fashionable pair compared to actually how they perform and even how comfortable they are. So if you're in the market for a brand new pair of spikeless golf shoes and you're not that bothered whether or not your golf shoes were actually basketball shoes 30 years ago, then the Ecco Biom H4 might be worth a look. The Ecco is a spikeless golf shoe that retails in the UK for £180 or $220 in the US, which is admittedly at the more expensive end of the price spectrum. And while you won't be getting much love from the sneakerheads out on the golf course, what you will be getting is a pair of golf shoes made with premium materials with both a focus on comfort and performance. Now, if you've not heard of Ecco before, they're a Danish company founded in 1963. Most interestingly, Ecco pretty much invented the concept of the spikeless golf shoe. Freddie Couples was the first professional golfer to wear spikeless golf shoes that were Eccos in the first round of the 2010 Masters. More recently, you might have seen that Rick Shields is now an official partner of Ecco and he wears their shoes in all of his videos. As always, I've included any affiliate links and exclusive discount codes down in the description below, but I've got to say, after wearing these shoes for several rounds on the golf course, I'm impressed. The looks might not be for everyone, and the price point might be too high for quite a few people as well. So if you are spending that extra money on a pair of Ecco golf shoes, you're gonna be hoping these are gonna be made to a higher quality and use more premium materials compared to cheaper golf shoes. So hopefully, they should last a bit longer too. I'd say that the H4 fits true to size, and you've got plenty of room in the toe box area here for your toes to sit nice and comfortable. There's a nice amount of padding here on the heel and the ankle, and you can see that it's got a little bit of texture to it as well, which helps with the style and look of these shoes. But I certainly didn't have any issues with blisters when I was out walking 18 holes. While there is plenty of room in this toe box area, you still do get quite a good, secure fit. Now, several years ago, I tried an old pair of Ecco golf shoes and I didn't really like the fit of them. The arch was far too high for me. I'm pleased to say with the H4 that I haven't had any of those kind of issues with these shoes. These have been really, really comfortable to walk in, and I'd say the arch is perhaps a little bit more exaggerated compared to your normal sneaker style golf shoe and golf shoe trainers, but certainly it's not too aggressive. And so if you've got a relatively kind of neutral foot, I think you're gonna be absolutely fine with these. If you've got a wider foot, then what you can do with these shoes as well is easily remove the insole, and then you can see at the bottom there, it says extra wide. So you get more space when you take out that insole. You are then losing the padding that you get, though now that I've got it out, to be honest, it's not a great deal of softness coming from that insole, so perhaps it's no huge loss. In terms of the comfort underfoot, they are comfortable, but they're certainly not squishy, soft, cloud-like. So you're not getting anything like a Adidas Boost or a Nike React feeling in that midsole foam. They've set it up ergonomically to be very comfortable for walking in, and I've got to say that walking in these shoes is really nice. The actual transition of the way that they move and the way that your foot is supported feels really good to me, but they're not necessarily like a pair of trainers. And when you compare them to a sneaker style golf shoe, so we've got the new Jordan 1 lows in the navy and the white here, yeah, these do feel a little bit heavier and they kind of feel a little bit bulkier when you're out walking on them, but it's not to their detriment. It's not an issue. It's just something that you notice. Another feature to ensure that your feet stay nice and comfortable with these shoes is their waterproofing. And this is an area that Ecco excels in. So first of all, with this leather upper, you've actually got Gore-Tex technology over it as well. So you're not gonna have any worries about any water getting through this upper at all. Then you've got the Gore-Tex stretching up on that tongue, you can see it there, and on the inside of the tongue it's gusseted really quite high, so it's going up to kind of that second lace, which means that you're not going to worry about getting water in your shoes when you're walking through heavy wet rough like I often do, because I'm a pretty rubbish golfer. You can see from the waterproof test I poured tons of water really quite high up on the tongue, and because of that gusset and because of the material, nothing got through to my feet. So these get top marks for waterproofing. Taking a closer look at the upper, it is a leather material, although you can see it's kind of got this slight perforated pattern to it as well, which was interesting. I did question whether this was leather initially, but it says on the website it is, so I'm going to trust that it is. And after wearing them 5 or 6 times, I'd say that leather is soft, softish, but there are softer leathers out there. Something like the FootJoy Pro SL, I would say, is definitely a leather that is going to kind of break down and really feel a lot softer. This leather and this structure of this shoe kind of feels like it's been designed on purpose to maintain its structure. That's kind of the whole point of it, I think. And you can see here, actually, after one full 18 holes, I was starting to get quite a bit of creasing across the bottom of the laces here. So that's just something to look out for and expect. Now, I wouldn't call the H4 a fashion shoe, although there are design features here which do make it look pretty unique. So you can see here, first of all, you've got this big TPU insert on the outside, and then you've got another one on the inside, but it's a different colour. So it's a feature across the whole H4 range of this asymmetrical design of the shoe, and you can see that it transitions on the outsole as well. So that's kind of a cool look. I like the fact that when you're standing there, they look different from one side compared to the other. But as you look at it, it is a pretty big, bulky looking shoe. And that's not helped by the fact you've got this really quite excessive midsole material here at the heel, up in the midsole of the foot, and then across the toe as well. Equal to that, the actual structure and shape of the shoe makes it look quite big and bulky. And one thing I did notice is when you look down on the shoe, you can really kind of see the curvature and the almost bulbous nature of that toe box. So on the plus side, that does mean that you're getting plenty of room for your toes to be nice and comfortable, and ultimately that can improve performance of the shoe. However, in terms of looks and style, it's not necessarily, I'd say, the most fashionable looking shoe. If you compare it to something like a FootJoy Pro SL, that has got a much kind of slimmer profile, but in return, that will sit a lot closer to your toes and you won't quite have the same amount of room in your shoe. So it really depends upon what you want with a golf shoe. It's not going to be able to defy the laws of physics. If you want more room in your shoe, well, it's going to have to be a little bit bigger.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
In terms of performance, I'm really impressed with these shoes. These TPU insoles give a really good kind of amount of stability, and the overall structure of the shoe is nice and stable. You can see here there's not too much twisting and flexibility. There is a significant amount of material, and it's strong material, in this outsole design. What's also impressive with the outsole is the level of grip that you're getting. So you can see here that you've got quite aggressive grip on this outsole, and it kind of flows and channels. Now there is a specific name that Ecco have got for this outsole design. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'm sure you're not going to worry about it too much. But what it means is that you're getting good grip for a spikeless golf shoe. Now, as always, for me, if it's really wet, heavy conditions out, then I'm going to use a spiked golf shoe because that's my personal preference, and I find that they will always give me more grip. But if you had to say that I had to use these in the wet, which I actually did, then these held up really well and I wouldn't have any issues with using these in wet, heavy conditions. As well as the H4, Ecco also have the Biom C4 spikeless golf shoes, and they're a similar looking shoe, perhaps a little bit more sporty, a little bit more athletic, but they're designed for the summer. They have these kind of cooling channels going through the midsole foam. So if you'd like to see me do a full review of those shoes and compare them against the H4s, then make sure you let me know down in the comments. And if you're looking for a pair of premium performance spikeless golf shoes, then why not check out my full review of the FootJoy Pro SLs? And if you're looking for a more casual, sporty, stylish pair of spikeless golf shoes, then why not check out my full review of the Air Jordan Low 1 golf shoes? I've said that the wrong way around. Air Jordan 1 Low golf shoes.